Good afternoon. I'm here to present to you guys today the new theory that I've came up with that's going to explain why people of today have low energy. And you have low energy because you do not understand the concept that you are a battery. So, yes, you are a battery. What type of battery are you? You are a salt battery. All right? So here's how we're going to display this. The problem that I see in this entire world at this moment in time is people have no concept of energy, of electricity, of magnetism, of how thought interchange with feeling, just how their brain works, how their body works, how their actual immune system all functions off of a system of 12 and all functions off of a system of energy, because everything is energy. So this is an actual battery. So don't mind my drawing. I just wanted to express this. So this is a battery. What you see is that this is salt water inside the battery. So this is a cylinder. This is going to be what you call a cathode on top. And you have an anode right here on the bottom. So when you have a battery, you have a simple cylinder with a top that usually connects from a spring that pushes it forward, and it is here to connect on the top and the bottom. But let me break this down from this cathode and this anode, and also based on a human being, an actual person. So this is the cathode, which is going to be a positive charge. So let's put a positive charge up here on the circle. So you'll know that the cathode in a salt battery, this solid battery, is going to be a positive charge. It's going to be the actual copper. We're going to put the element of copper up here. The reason why I'm using copper is because in this case of the salt battery, all right, copper is important because this is what copper does for you. Copper, which is found in your head. It's found in the gray matter in your brain. And it's also found primarily in your liver and in your muscle tissue. It's also found in your bones, in your kidneys, and in your heart. Now, what copper does for you, all right, is it produces red blood cells. It also maintains your nerve cells and neurotransmitter synthesis, meaning it synthesizes neurotransmitters inside of the brain. And it's also released in your bile for excretion. So your bile in your stomach, that's the stomach acid. For excretion, that's like removing waste, the large intestine. That's what copper is. So if you're looking at the cathode, which is a battery on top, you're looking at it inside of your head, inside of your brain. That's where the majority of your copper is going to be, inside of your gray matter. So when somebody tells you that your brain is empty or hollow, it's not. Your gray matter is filled with copper, primarily. Now on the bottom end, we're going to have the anode, which is going to be a negative charge. This negative charge is we're going to label this with zinc. Now the reason why I placed zinc at this bottom is because it's found in your muscles, tissue, also in your bone. It's found in all of your cells and in every tissue and organ inside of your body. So zinc also has a primary function in terms of sexual function, in terms of your desire, in terms of your libido, testosterone production in men. It also reduces pain in intercourse. It also provides blood flow to your genitals. It raises your sperm count. Okay, it fixes erectile dysfunction, and it's also found in your vaginal tissue and penile tissue, which is your penis tissue for men, and also in your prostate. This is one of the biggest things in seminal fluid production. So semen production. It's seminal fluid mixes with zinc to produce semen. It's zinc. So this is a primary thing that you need in terms of production to go all throughout your entire body, but then to really focus primarily down here in this root chakra area here. So there's the positive, which is on top of the battery. Here's the negative, which is on the bottom of the battery. Now let's see what you have in terms of, you have two electrodes. So what the electrodes do is they carry the current into non-metallic solids, liquids, gases, and plasma. That's what the electrodes do. Electrodes' responsibility are to basically carry the current. So once these things connect, that's the electrodes. These electrodes' job, from the positive up top, the negative on the bottom, is to carry the current, electric current, into non-metallic solids, liquids, gases, and plasma. But your battery is filled up in the middle of it. The center of it is filled with salt water, essentially electrolytes. So all of this right here is water. This is all water. So look at this whole entire cylinder. It's filled with water because the connector between the two, the connector between both sides, positive and negative charge, that connects the two is salt water. So what are electrolytes? They're minerals that carry an electric charge. I'm not talking about just, you go and you see Gatorade talking about electrolytes and Powerade and those things like that. I'm talking about actual true electrolytes. This is natural processes. So we're going to get into why your lifestyle based upon your diet and food directly correlates to this function of electrolytes in here in terms of salt water and how it's produced and how it carries the energy. So this is a battery here. Now I'm going to show you how you work as a battery in nature or out in the screen of space in the 3D world. This is the sun with some clouds around it. In the atmosphere, your atmosphere is charged positively. So you have a positive charge in the atmosphere, okay? But now if you have a cathode, which is on top, right, which we said was copper in terms of the gray matter inside your brain, that's the cathode, which is the positive charge up top. This positive charge is going to go into this area here, enter the brain. That's where it's going to hit. But how do you get the negative charge? Well, you get the negative charge through your feet. Your feet are the anode. And the negative charge, which is usually predominantly inside of the ground, unless there's a thunderstorm that basically reverses the charges for a short period of time as the thunder's coming from the sky, because that's basically evaporation goes up to the atmosphere, shoots back down in terms of thunderstorm. So it only happens for a small amount of time, but the majority of the time, the ground is charged negatively. Well, the electrolytes in this case would be in the center of you, which would be inside your gut. Yeah, so people aren't actually understanding just how this works, but let me get you to understand that there is something now called, I'm going to be specific on it. All right, so this is the word of the day. And the word of the day is electrogenic bacteria. What that means is that you have bacteria inside of your gut, over 100,000 bacteria that provide you an electric charge located inside of your gut. So here is where people are failing themselves in terms of low energy. You're eating food that have no electrolytes, because where does the actual energy come from? The energy comes from the atmosphere. The energy is all around you all the time. So the energy, write this down if you need to take some notes. Energy comes from the earth. There's energy all around you. Everything is energy. But what people have a problem is their battery can't pick this energy up. The energy is free. The energy is already here. You don't have to do anything to go get the energy. All you have to do is allow the energy to come through you. So the problem is people are so blocked on the inside energetically, they're not allowing the energy to flow freely and pass freely through them. So this is where the issue of low energy is coming from, and it stems from. So let me tell you right now that all this is the systems of 12. Now, why do I say this is the system of 12? Because if you realize that your body has 12 systems in your human body, you have 12 systems in your human body. In your entire body, you have 12 systems. And those 12 systems are cardiovascular system, digestive system, endocrine system, or endocrine system. You also have excretory system, your eyes and your ears, your sensory system, your immune system, lymphatic system, musculoskeletal system, nervous system, reproductive system, respiratory system, your skin is also a system, and your urinary system. So each one of these 12 systems is going to be controlled by these electrolytes inside of your gut, because your gut is going to determine who gets what. When something comes into your gut, you have 12 cranial nerves inside of your gut. So 12 cranial nerves in your solar plexus gut. Okay? So you have 12 systems of your human body that are all connected by 12 cranial nerves inside of your gut. So when you eat something, if you don't know what you're eating or putting inside of your mouth, you bypass everything whenever you just take something in. If you're not taking in energy, you have a problem. Because when someone does not take in enough energy, you're thinking you gotta count calories. You're thinking you gotta count protein, but you're made of protein. Your DNA is actually made of protein. You actually are made of proteins. And all proteins are BCAAs, branched chain amino acids. So if you eat the right combination of food, you have more than enough protein. And all protein comes from plants. So what is the issue? The issue is that you're being misdirected to take in things that are killing your battery. Now, this is how I'm going to describe this to you. Because I know everyone's had a Walkman before. Everyone's had a battery before. Everyone drives a car. And whenever you see that your car has what's called corrosion, your car battery has corrosion. But where does the corrosion come from? The corrosion comes from acid. So let's write down this keyword right here. We're going to put, let me see, make sure you can write this, you can see this. Acid. Acid causes corrosion. Acid. So remember when I said your electrodes? So basically you could say your electrodes in this case would be like your cell membrane or your skin. In terms of your brain, that can be like your hair, and then your feet also have electrodes on it, because when you touch your bare feet to the ground, you get an instant charge and you get a grounding effect. These electrodes carry current into non-metallic solids, liquids, gases, and plasma. Oh, plasma. Let's highlight this word right here. Plasma. What's so important about plasma? Well, plasma is found primarily in your blood. Over 55%. So let's write down over 55% of your blood is plasma. 55% of your blood is plasma. So what plasma does is it carries water, so enzymes, nutrients, hormones, and proteins to the parts of the body that need it. Your cells also deposit their waste into plasma for removal. And the normal pH, and this is science telling you, you can look this up, 7.36 to 7.42. If that is the normal pH of your blood plasma, that's an alkaline. That's an alkaline state, 7.36 to 7.42. And this is over 55% of your blood, meaning you may want to look at your diet to say, do I have enough alkalizing agents inside of my blood? Because once you eat something, it's going to get broken down into salt, enzymes, nutrients, hormones, and proteins that will pass through plasma and go to your body's 12 systems. Why? Because it comes in to the solar plexus. It comes in as electrolytes, the minerals that carry an electric charge. What if you're not eating an electric charge? If you're not eating food that has an electric charge, I don't know where you can get your energy from. You're probably gonna walk around with low energy. And that's pretty much what people are doing to themselves day in and day out. They have a battery that's starting to corrode. They have a corrosive battery. So this battery is getting destroyed from the inside out. from the inside out. So most people that you see are getting destroyed from the inside out. They're just burning up on the inside out, and they're melting themselves from the inside out. So essentially what oxidation does is it causes rust. So when you start rusting, all of a sudden your organs, you begin to get wrinkly. You start to see that there's minerals missing. There's water, mainly it's water missing, because as you can see, this entire system of this battery is salt water. So if you don't have enough water, first of all, your first mistake is you have not enough water. So water is first, meaning you're dehydrated. Dehydration causes, and basically every autoimmune disease symptom is caused first by dehydration. But once you understand you don't have enough water, then you'll see you don't have enough salt. You don't have enough salt, I guarantee you don't have enough minerals. I guarantee you don't have enough minerals, then you don't have enough nutrients. And then it begins to have a chain reaction. The hormones that are produced by your own brain, your own mind, they can't get produced comfortably. Nothing can happen comfortably. You're changing systems. So you can go to parasympathetic or sympathetic. And so this is where people also have an issue where stress causes issues. So what stress does to most people, and this is just not even just my own observation, but when you have parasympathetic nervous system, you have two systems, okay? There's parasympathetic and there's sympathetic. So I'll just write P and I'll just write S. Parasympathetic is relaxed, whenever you're relaxed. Sympathetic is when you're in fight or flight. Now this is your response based on stress. So what we're talking about right now is stress. But what if I told you that you're eating the stress? As soon as you go in to go get a glass of wine, as soon as you go in to go get some alcohol, as soon as you go in to go smoke some weed, as soon as you go in to go smoke a cigarette, if you go eat some fast food like a hamburger is like a hand grenade that you're putting inside of your body, because every part of the hamburger that you're eating, in terms of seed oil, in terms of the actual combination of water and oil and fried French fries from McDonald's, foods that aren't really actually food. So fast foods aren't actually foods at all. What they're doing is they're like grenades, they're like missiles, and you're taking them in directly into your system. So they're causing you actual chemical stress. Now you can have physical stress. You can have physical stress like I fell and I hit my knee against the wall or something like that, or I sprained my ankle. That's a physical stress. You can have a chemical stress. A chemical stress can be I ate something that caused me an issue, a salmonella in chicken or something like that, right? I mean, you can also have your emotional trauma, your emotional stress, and that's where you got yelled at or something, or somebody whom you highly respected, talked to you crazy, and you took offense to it because you weren't thinking in terms of a spiritual place, you were thinking in terms of an egoic place. That's what happens to people in terms of stress. So your stress is affecting your battery because your stress based on your perception, so how you're seeing something, how you're viewing something in your life. This is causing all types of issues with your actual battery. So your stress level can actually cause acid. Your stress can cause you to corrode yourself from the inside out. And this is where you understand you have stress chemicals, you have happy chemicals. So people will say, okay, what's a happy chemical? They'll say dopamine. Dopamine. You can produce dopamine just by breathing. So you can just do breathing exercises. Try this. 5 seconds in, inhalation, 5 seconds inhale, and then go 5 seconds exhale. And if you did that for 10 minutes straight, you would be in such a comfortable, happy inner environment. All of your stress would be gone because you would be in the parasympathetic nervous system of your autonomic nervous system. Now, let's actually get back into P and the S. So parasympathetic nervous system. This is the system called your autonomic nervous system. This system is basically what regulates you behind the scenes. This is what keeps keeps you breathing. It keeps your heart beating. You know, if you need to sneeze, if you need to cough, whatever you need to do, it's based on your autonomic nervous system. It's going to do whatever it can to keep you and keep your body in what's called homeostasis. Homeostasis is basically neutrality. It's basically you at the even state of 7.36 to 7.42 in your blood pH. That's essentially what it is. You need to be in homeostasis, but you need to be slightly alkalized because everything around you is pretty much acidic. And so if you were to create your own dopamine, you would be able to create your own happiness at all points in time and points in space. But you have to know how to do that based upon your mind. Most people don't create their own dopamine. They go outside somewhere to go get it. So you usually go out to go get it using prescription drug, using social or, drugs like you would see weed or addictive drugs, alcohol. They try to go to create this dopamine, or they basically do it that's even simpler way. They take their cell phone and they scroll all day and they try to get a dopamine hit. You're posting on social media, you're looking for a like, you're looking for a comment, that's supposed to give you a dopamine hit. But most people throughout their entire day are producing cortisol. Now, cortisol is essentially the acidic version. There's nothing happy about cortisol. What cortisol does is they actually inject it into you. They also inject it into people who are getting transplants because they don't want to have a rejection of an organ transplant. So they inject cortisol inside their body to basically turn their system of fight or flight on. And it's basically going to exhaust them so much that they can't even reject the organ from the organ transplant. Cortisol, I remember in 2010, I got a cortisone shot inside of my knee. And they told me for 2 days I could not do anything. I had this cold feeling inside of my right knee. And it was probably the most awful thing. I never did it ever again after that because I realized I was injecting in stress into my body. So when I started to understand that I produced this on my own, I would ask myself, well, what do I need to do in order to change the effects of my cause? And it was changing my lifestyle because I had to figure out how to eat these things that enhance my body's 12 systems, and they generate energy to all 12 cranial nerves in my solar plexus. They're giving my 12 systems energy. They're not giving my 12 systems extraction where they're taking from that. And that's what you do when you go to happy hour. When you go in to after hours to go eat at 10 o'clock, you're basically doing things outside of the circadian rhythm. So if you look up the Chinese body clock, it tells you that probably the most optimal time for you to eat lunch and to eat dinner would be at noon to about 2 p.m. And then about noon to about 3, right? And then after that, dinner would follow shortly after that. And then the rest of the time you would just be winding down from about 7 to bedtime, about 10 o'clock, you'd be winding down. Most people are so backwards in this. They wake up in the morning and they eat breakfast. They eat this huge breakfast of bacon and eggs and potatoes and all types of heavy food that are supposed to be for, actually it shouldn't even be eaten in the first place, but it should be for a later time within the day because you don't have the energy to process all that stuff that you're bringing in. Your battery right now is being overhauled, it's being replaced from day in and day out. So when you first get up in the morning, let me explain to you actually a really simple way of looking at the what's called the Chinese body clock. And this is actually a really fun and simplistic way to look at diet and lifestyle. Because if you then can figure out that your diet and your lifestyle is predicated on your ability to be consistent, right? And this is where consistency takes takes precedence over everything. You must be consistent. Okay, so let's talk about your day from early in the morning, waking up early in the morning. So let's talk about it. Actually, let's talk about sleep. So I'll do it from sleep overnight to waking up in the morning, and then I'll show you just how your battery begins to get recharged. So let's think at midnight, right? Or no, early midnight. Let's go 9 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night. So from 9 p.m. you have what's called the triple burner. And this is gonna be your endocrine, your metabolic balancing, you begin to get sleepy. So I'm putting y'all to sleep right now. So about 9 p.m., from 9 to 11, the triple burner, this is what they call in Chinese medicine. This is where you kind of get the fire. And the fire is gonna come from your belly. So really, this is where the energy of the fire is going to come throughout your entire body. This is going to be predicated on like an enhancement of that fire. But you need to focus on your endocrine, metabolic balancing, and letting yourself rest and relax. You shouldn't have on screens, blue lights, things that are, kind of getting you riled up. You need to be toning it down at this point in time. So the next at midnight from 11 to 1 a.m., you're gonna have your gallbladder. Now, what does your gallbladder do? Your gallbladder releases bile. It also repairs your cells and also builds blood cells while you're sleeping. From 11 to 1 a.m., you need to be sleeping. And I mean resting. I mean going from beta to alpha to theta to delta. You need to be in delta deep sleep. Here's a trick for you if you are unable to sleep, if you don't have the capacity, if you haven't been doing it naturally. There's apps that you can download, like tone generators, or also you can just turn your laptop on, turn your phone on to YouTube, and you can place a 0 hertz frequency, sound frequency. 0 hertz is going to be right at that delta threshold. You want to be in the slowest brainwave that you can, so that you can be able to fall into deep sleep, restorative sleep. So there is what's called 0.1 hertz, which is also going to be low, but it's going to be in terms of a gamma, but it's going to be a really low gamma brainwave pattern. And it's going to be what's called epsilon sound frequency. So 0.1 hertz, epsilon. Whenever you go to 0.1 hertz, epsilon, this will allow you to go into a restorative sleep. Now, releasing bile, cellular repair, and rebuilding your blood cells is imperative for you to begin to restore this battery. Because if you've been poisoning your blood plasma the entire day, this is where the process starts that's going to repair that. Because up next, after the gallbladder at midnight, is going to be the liver at 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. This is deep sleep. So this is you're in delta. So 0 hertz. You went from, again, beta, which is you talking to me right now, to alpha, which is like daydreaming, theta, which is right before you fall asleep, which you should have been getting into theta at the triple burner time from about 9 to 11. And then now you're in delta. What this area at 1 to 3 a.m. is doing, detoxing your blood. It's cleansing this blood plasma. It's cleansing this blood plasma. It's rest and recovery and essentially planning, because now you're dreaming. You're in communion with the Creator. You should be playing overnight. You should be playing affirmations that you created. One thing I tell everyone to do, comes to me, I tell them, listen, go get an MP3 player and go to write down 300 affirmations. I am so happy and grateful, blank, in full detail. I'm living here, I'm earning this, I'm in a great relationship with my life partner, whatever you want to write down. But you should be writing it down right now. You should be recording it with your own voice, and your own voice is what's going to program yourself while you're overnight sleeping. This is where you're going to talk about rest, recovery, and planning, because you're planning for the new day, and you're planning it from yourself. So your liver, which is primarily responsible, again, because your liver is where this copper concentration is at. One of the highest concentrations of copper is inside of your liver, okay? And that's where you get red blood cell production, maintaining nerve cells, neurotransmitter synthesis, and releasing bile again for excretion. It also helps in digestion. So your liver is really important. It's very, very imperative. If you need to bypass the pancreas, which most people who have diabetes type 2, they aren't able to activate the pancreas. But the pancreas is what alkalizes your body. The pancreas releases an alkalizing agent into your bloodstream. If you can't do that, you can bypass the pancreas and use the liver. I have a blog on my website. You guys should check it out. It talks about how to heal from autoimmune disease with alkalizing herbs. We made 2 formulas, Awaken and Replenish, platinum. Now we have platinum, but in an all fruit diet. And basically, because fructolysis occurs in the liver. Fructolysis occurs in the liver. So if you need to bypass that, you would use the liver. All right. So from 3 to 5 a.m., this is going to be the lungs. So you need to be in deep sleep still. You should be in dreams and memory, and it's detoxifying your lungs. Your lungs are your pump. So you should be breathing from your diaphragm. You should be breathing, inhaling slow, exhaling slow. And what happens in terms of detoxifying your lungs is now you're clearing out the pump to now move everything throughout your body. You're moving the blood through your body, moving the lymph through your body. This is where your full detoxification process is beginning. It's beginning from midnight all the way up to 5 a.m. And so once you get into detoxifying your lungs, the oxygen that's being carried, deep sleep, dreams, memory, the next thing, whenever you get up in the morning, which is going to be from about 5 to 7 a.m. Yes, you need to get up at about 5 to 7 a.m. You don't need to sleep that long. I don't know who told you need to get 8 hours to sleep, 9 hours to sleep. If you got to do that, something's wrong. If you keep waking yourself up overnight, also something's wrong. Because with the time that you wake up, if you can't sleep and you're like an insomniac, you keep getting up at 2 o'clock, you should check your liver. Maybe you drink too much. Maybe you got too much alcohol. Maybe you're eating too much bad food. If you're getting up at midnight, you can go to each part of the clock and you can look and say what organ is there at the time that I keep on waking up. And usually it's going to be a liver. For the majority of people, it's going to be liver. But at 5 to 7 a.m., it's now your large intestine. So when you wake up, you release your bowels. So that means that you wake up, the thing that you should do is drink some warm water. No, don't drink some coffee. Don't run and make a cup of coffee. You don't need to make anything. You need to make just if you want to warm some water up, then do that. But don't make anything. You can go get some lemon, and put it aside some water, but you don't need to get any coffee. No stimulant, no caffeine, none of that is required. No protein shake, none of that. I used to train myself really early in the morning. I would go to meet my trainer, one of the calls in the game. I would go meet my trainer Dre, and right outside of Atlanta. And I would leave at 6 o'clock in the morning. I take a handful of fruit. I take some berries, some grapes, blackberries, raspberries, strawberry maybe, and some grapes, and maybe I'll take a banana. And I would just get up and I would head on up to go work out from about 7 to 9. And I wouldn't eat my fruit until actually 9, because I wouldn't need to. When I got up in the morning, first thing I would do is I would wake up and I would drink some water so I can get all of the waste to move through my large intestine. So you need to poop in the morning. As soon as you get up in the morning, you should walk right up in there and into your restroom. You should be pooping and meditate, because when you meditate, it helps you to rehydrate, because you're stopping everything from coming in and you're creating your day the way you want to create your day. Meditation should be first. If you prioritize meditation, you'll see just how easily your day goes, because you're going to be planning and creating your day from the time that you're waking up. And again, this is why your battery is going to be getting replaced, because you're cleaning out the electrolytes, the minerals that carry electric charge. You're cleaning everything out so that now you can have the salt water to carry that electric charge, to connect the positive and the negative. This is the whole point of having this entire battery. Do not leave your house until you get everything correct within inside of you. So from 7 to 9 a.m., this is going to be the stomach. So now we're going from the system of detoxification to now we're going to basically digestion. We're finishing the entire process of detoxification overnight. So now you have your stomach, which is gonna be from 7 to 9 a.m. This is when you're gonna eat breakfast, but your breakfast is not gonna consist of anything that's gonna be bacon and eggs and heavy potatoes and hash browns. And no, you don't need that. You need to have something that's electric. You need to have electric food in the morning. So if you can have something that's like a fruit bowl, and I mean a fruit bowl, I mean a bowl of grapes, a bowl of berries, you know, you can have a banana for potassium, you know, but you want to have something that's electric. So even eating a piece of watermelon is great, but you want to have electric foods in the morning. So breakfast, meaning you're breaking your fast that you just came out of, okay, you want to have something that's extensive to get this battery to be recharged, because you need to fill this salt water up with proper electrolytes that carry an electric charge. So that's why you want to eat for angstroms of energy. Angstroms are the study of wavelength. That's the measurement of wavelength. And the reason why they're so small is just because I just said that. They're study of wavelength. So you're not thinking in terms of calories at this moment in time. You're not thinking in terms of counting your macros and your protein. You need to have 2 point something grams, but this, no, you don't need, no. It's not about that. It's about energy. Focus on energy. This is why you have low energy. You see what I'm saying? You need to focus on eating things with high energy and electricity, so that when you take this in, you'll have good concentration. Your brain's gonna be firing a wire. You can't have your brain firing a wire if you have too much waste inside of it. So when you eat animal proteins, the majority of animal proteins are weighed down. They don't provide you with any electric charge. They provide you with zero electric charge, the majority of them, once they're cooked. And I'm talking about once they're cooked, meaning if you go out there to kill an animal and you go take on a carcass, because basically what animals' flesh is, it's just carcasses. It's just dead meat. So when you go in to eat carcasses, those carcasses are not carrying any sort of charge anymore. If you're a lion and you just killed your prey and it's still alive while you're chewing on it, then you may get some type of electric charge from there. But if you're a person that's going to go to eat some packaged meat that's been sprayed on with carbon monoxide and that's been packaged and, you know, sent into a little refrigerator or hung upside down for however long instead of the meat pack in place, you don't even know how actually, you actually don't even know how long it's been in there, because once it changes color, it's because that coloring has worn off. It doesn't have any electric charge inside of it. That's why I'm saying that immediately you have to understand that your breakfast that they first told you to go, breakfast of champions, okay, where they tell you to go eat some cereal, some oats, something that again is going to block the current. This needs to be light. You need to have this, electrolytes needs to be light. Electricity needs to be electric, and it needs to be light. So it can have the light that shines from your solar plexus. That's the whole point. It's the sun. You're connecting yourself to the sun through photosynthesis. So if you're connected to the sun, whenever you go outside, because you're about to be outside right now. So from 7 to 9, this is gonna be your stomach, but then you need to also focus on concentration. So why don't you take your dog for a walk? You go take a walk. You need to get up and start to get moving. People just get up and get into the car and they start driving themselves. So if you have a long trek to your job, I'm going to advise you that you should maybe get what's called like a car charger, one that converts your lighter into an actual plug outlet. And you can take your plug outlet and you can take this where it's like a 3-prong, as you'll see like my laptop, you have like the 3-prong, you'll have a grounding cord. There's the grounding cord right here. So you have the grounding cord mechanism that goes in through here. This is the grounding cord that's grounding my laptop. So you can go order one from Amazon, and you can basically you can have that if you have a trek, you know, if you have to make a long trip, you know, to go somewhere, if you're a driver, whatever it is, ground yourself the entire day so that you can still make sure that you have that energy coming into you. So at least you have the negative charges coming in from grounding yourself. Just attach it to your hip, your pocket, put it inside your sock, inside your shoe, underwear, whatever you can that makes you feel comfortable, and drive with that. So 7 to 9 a.m., again, this is where you're gonna have electric breakfast. So you're gonna have a bowl of fruit, A nice little, light, something light, but something that's high charged. Fruit's gonna be the highest quality of angstroms. After that, it's gonna be raw vegetables. So raw fruit first, raw vegetables second. Pick one, or pick both. I say pick raw fruit. If I had to, if it was up to me, I encourage you to pick raw fruits. So 7 to 9, take about a good mile walk, at least. Just get yourself moving, get your blood flowing. Take some headphones out, walk around with your affirmations playing. Something good. After that's going to be 9 to 11. That's going to be your spleen. So your spleen, this is going to convert your food to your energy. So if you don't have anything that's good that's already inside of you, you don't get any energy. So this is what I'm saying. You're going to be mad, you're going to be frustrated, you're going to be on edge all the time because you haven't been doing what you're supposed to do. You've been living out of alignment. So you need to start to understand these circadian rhythms, these times I'm telling you, this matters. And it matters because you have to live in alignment with nature in order to be as powerful and infinite as nature. So at this time, this is where you have clear thinking. So if you need to have some work to do, if you want to go to content create, if you want to go to, make some phone calls for your business, I have a process where in the morning time, I spend about at least an hour actually. You don't have to take this as long as I do, but I write down ideas on how to improve my business, how to improve my services, how to improve my products. And I take that time from about 9 to 11 a.m. I really focus on what am I going to do to improve whatever I'm doing. And so I do it while I'm walking my dogs on the beach. But I take that time to really get into my own head after I meditate and just really go in to start thinking, because it's the time where your clear thinking is going to be the most potent. All right, you're converting the food that you have inside of you to energy. Okay, so now from 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. From 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is now going to be your heart, blood circulation. This is going to be your high energy moment from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. Some people take a nap actually from about 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. But that's also because they've probably been doing a lot in that morning time. But this is where you're going to have your highest circulation really of energy. So, and usually probably after this time, you can probably go in to take a nap. But you really want to get to a place where you're going to eat lunch. Again, your lunch is going to be essentially your largest meal of your day is going to be right now. And it's also because the sun's going to be the highest. You'll have the highest time of digestion, really, because right now it's just working. You need to start to put everything back. So at this time, you'll have the highest circulation of energy, blood circulation. And also you want to eat your lunch. Make your lunch something that's going to be potent in terms of energy, not just grains, fruits first. Always eat your fruits first. Always digest, because you're setting your system up for digestion. So you always eat your fruits first. That's why I'm giving you the order of how to do it. So your fruits will come at your stomach time, which is 7 to 9. Then after that, you give it like a rest. Then now you would come in with maybe you want to have grain or you want to have, some vegetables, even like potatoes, something like that, beans. Preferably you would soak them so you can activate them. My wife taught me how to do this where, you sprout your things that you're going to cook. You sprout them overnight, so they should have been soaking overnight before you're going to cook them now. And so that's going to be at the time you're going to, if you make food, make it, meal prep, whatever you got to do. This is the time I meal prep for myself too. And then after that, from 1 to 3 p.m. is going to be your small intestine. So your small intestine, this is where you're basically sorting and you're absorbing your food. So you need to start to drink water at this moment in time. And this is where it starts to get really, really important to hydrate. So people tend to forget that you still need to drink outside water. I don't think it's only where you can eat your water. I think you still need to have both. I think people just don't see it as it's like a need, but I think you still need to have both. The reason why I say that is because you need to have the environment set up for the inside of your cells to be hydrated and also for the outside of your cells to be hydrated. So your cells need to, you need to have your inner blood environment and your outer blood environment. And so both of these need to be hydrated. You start the process. I'm not saying don't drink any water, prior to noon, but I'm saying this is where you're going to increase this. You need to start to increase this intake. So from 1 to 3 p.m., it's going to be your small intestine. So now we're going to go past all the water waste out of your body. So this is going to be where you're absorbing your food. It's kind of like a low energy space time in some cases, but also you're going to set yourself up to exercise soon. Okay, so you can take a nap, just relax yourself, read, just kind of chill. But then right when it gets to 3 p.m., this is when your bladder now takes precedence. This is when you're going to start from 3 to 5 p.m. Your energy should be restored. Your liquid waste is going to be released. You need to go pee because you just took in some water, and so now you should be working, you should be studying. You should be, if you need to go get some content created, if you need to go out there to go move your body. I exercise usually at from about 3 to 5 p.m. or just before that. But that's my main time of exercise because I just feel the best. I got some energy. So right after that, it's going to be your kidneys. This is where you store your nutrients, also build your bone marrow. And this is going to be supper time. So it's going to be dinner time from about 5 to 7 p.m. So you should be eating dinner 5 to 7 p.m. That's if you need to have dinner. Sometimes, and where I say this is breakfast should be for your start the process of digestion. Your lunchtime in the middle of the day, you can have your grain, your combination of vegetables, that sort of thing. And then your dinner time should also be fairly small than your lunch. It should not be the largest meal of your day. It should not be at dinner time. It should be at lunchtime because you have all that energy that you just got rid of. Dinner time, you can have something that's going to be, not like a snack, but I usually have like an avocado, something that's simple for me, and something that's just smaller. I don't need to have a huge bowl full of food because right now I'm getting to the point where I'm relaxing. This is the kidney time, storing my nutrients. So from 5 to 7 p.m. Now, from 7 to 9 p.m., this is what's called the pericardium. The pericardium. This is going to be, and let me describe what the pericardium is for people that don't really know. So what the pericardium actually is, and this is going to be a function of the heart. So really, it's kind of like a sac that protects your heart. It's like a fluid-filled sac that protects the heart on the inside. So your pericardium is going to get you where your vibration, you're focusing on your vibration at this moment in time. So this is where you have your light reading, okay? You engage with your partner, romantic partner, you have sex. This is also like a self-love time. You can journal, you can start to write things down. But this is where your end of your night simply is coming down to. You're starting to wind yourself down. And this is where your fire, you're now in the fire. Back to the fire section of your body. So your triple burner is going to be right up next. Endocrine, metabolic balancing, you're getting sleepy from 9 to 11. So from about 7 to 11 in that time frame, you should be winding yourself down and taking yourself to sleep. And like I said, from about 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. in that range, you should be waking up. Then in between 5 to 7 a.m. And that's just a natural process. You're going to want to get up anyway because this is when the moon's going to be going back down and the sun's going to be coming up. Whether you're on the southern hemisphere or northern hemisphere. Unless you're like in Alaska, or a place where the sun doesn't really go down sometimes. There's times in the year where in Alaska you get 24 hours of sunlight, but in this case, you're going to feel to wind down because you got to understand that melatonin and serotonin is produced mainly inside the gut. So from your gut, you'll be able to tell what time of day it is. From your gut, you'll be able to tell I'm sleepy and I'm awake. Your gut's gonna wake you up first, not just your pineal gland. Your pineal gland's gonna have 400 times less melatonin and serotonin than your gut has. Your gut has 400 times more melatonin and serotonin than your pineal gland. So this again is where I'm talking about electrolytes in terms of the 12 systems of the human body and the 12 cranial nerves inside of the gray matter, inside of the solar plexus, inside of the gut. Your head responsible for the gray matter, mainly responsible for copper, the cathode, the positive charge in the atmosphere. When you walk outside barefoot and ground yourself if you need to. Or here's another trick. You can order an actual grounding cord and a grounding mat for your bed. You can sleep on a grounding cord and a grounding mat, but you should. You should ground yourself all night. Ground yourself all night. Because as soon as you get up, you're gonna be hit with the positive charge from the atmosphere. So you need to see that you need to have a balance in terms of polarity. Polarity is gonna move you. It's gonna move you. Positive, negative. It's gonna be like just step. That's positive, negative. You need to understand that this cell battery, which is you, the reason why you have low energy is because you're going against the clock. They talked about like Kobe Bryant a lot. And I'm a hooper, so I'm all about people with, powerful work ethic, things like that. But what I realized was the Mamba mentality is the most suicidal thing that you can do for your body. You shouldn't wake yourself up and overwork yourself physically. There's no honor in that. The reason why I say there's no honor in that is because you're going against the natural order of things so much. You're going against the natural order so much. There's no way possible for you to actually recover yourself. You're gonna drain your battery faster and not replenish your battery on time. So, I love Kobe for his skills, but as far as the teachings, nah, I'm not following that. People want to follow that, and that's fine. That's their business. But you got to get out of that hustle culture mentality. You got to get into an alignment mentality. The hustle culture mentality is just how far against the natural order can you go and be successful? And somebody is telling you that that's okay, and they're telling you that they're clapping for you for that. No, I ain't about clapping for you for that. That's like the most far away place of self-love. That is the most against the self-love I've ever heard. And I used to do that. You're talking to a guy who used to, ride his bike 10 miles, go to the gym. From 7 o'clock in the morning, my lady would get up, she would head to her job, and I would immediately, just when I was going to go play basketball, I was so focused on making on making it to the league. I was like, I gotta get working, I gotta keep working. And I was just working all the time, overworking my body so much. I never really got to recover. I was successful in many instances, but eventually you just get tired of doing it. You just get tired and you're just like, I don't like doing this. And like, there's no fun in this. It's kind of like, when is this gonna end? And that's where I was, where that came down to. But that was just because I was going against the natural order of things so much. When I got to a place of understanding how this Chinese body clock works and how this natural circadian rhythm works and how the electric battery, the cell battery works, I said, I just got to keep my battery charged all the time. And you realize that the spirit equals breath, okay? So that's the spirit. The spirit is breath. So when you're more spiritual, you're breathing. That's why when you first get up in the morning, and I'd say from 5 to 7 a.m., you're waking up, you're listening to your bowels, you're meditating. When you're meditating, you're also doing breath work. You should be focused on 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. Or you should focus on, they call it Kundalini breathing, which is basically you're powerfully inhaling, holding at the top. You're flexing you're contracting your abdominals and your diaphragm, and you're just squeezing all the air out. Just each time, you're just pumping yourself. Each time. Do it as long as you need to do it. You can do it for 5 minutes, 10 minutes. I prefer people who struggle with circulation, do it for 10 minutes. Put a timer on. Take your phone, put a timer on. Don't check any emails or don't check anything on your phone. Or just look at the clock and then say, okay, 10 minutes and close your eyes and then just keep, checking periodically. But don't check any email, don't check your phone, don't check your text messages, don't check anything. Don't check your social media, don't check anything when you first get up in the morning. Leave your phone alone. Go straight to meditation. Restroom, warm water, meditate. Don't touch your cell phone. Just leave it alone. From about 7 to 9, once you get done, you need to, go focus on, eat your fruit bowl, concentrate, while you're walking. You just start thinking about your day, writing some things down in terms of imagination. Then you want to go in and answer emails. Then that'd be from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Then you start to go up in there and start to try to conduct business. But don't wake up and start thinking you got to go into this hustle culture crap. Don't, because it's not how it works. It's just not. Billionaires, you want to get to a place of multi-million and billionaires, they're delegating everything except for their ideas. The ideas come from them. Everything else is going for somebody else. So you need to be a high energy person. You need to have a high charge inside of your battery. Let's count this down. Let's go all the way back over. So you are a battery, you are a salt battery. The reason why people have low energy, is because their battery is corroded because it's too acidic. You're acidic and it's causing corrosion of your battery. You have two electrodes at the top and at the bottom. You have the cathode on top, which is going to be copper. The zinc, which is going to be on the bottom, which is going to be the anode. So your electrodes carry current into non-metallic solids, liquids, gases, and blood plasma. I'm just going to keep on talking about blood plasma. Or 55% of your blood is plasma. What is plasma? It carries your water, your salt, enzymes, nutrients, hormones, and protein to the parts of the body that need it. And this is regulated by your brain. Your brain's going to tell you, it's going to disperse everything accordingly based on water, because this is where your water comes in. You need to be hydrated because it needs to be able to disperse the water first to send it out. This is how you communicate with yourself, based on water. So you can't be dehydrated. Cells also deposit the waste into plasma for removal. This is why it's imperative that you do this in the morning time, because this is where you're going to have the waste deposited in. So overnight, from 11 to about 7 a.m., you're in detoxification mode. You need to focus on helping yourself clear yourself out. That's why fasting is so powerful. You don't do anything, and you will let yourself activate yourself. If you keep on eating all the time and eating large meals, in terms of gluttony, in terms of things that you need to control, you're not letting yourself activate yourself. So after this, you need to focus on the salt water, which is electrolytes in your salt water. These are the minerals that carry an electric charge. That's why your lifestyle, based upon your diet, you need to have an alkaline diet. A plant-based diet is pristine for people. And I'm saying this because I'm a person of, my wife asked me the other day how long we've been eating plant-based. It's been just over 7.5 years, 2017. And I'm never gonna go back. I love what I'm doing. My body looks great. I'm just under 190 pounds. I'm about to do a fitness show in December. I got all the muscle mass that I need. And I'm not eating steak. I'm not eating no chicken, whatever the crap people talk about. You don't need all that stuff. You just don't. That's a lie. So essentially, you need to focus on the electrolytes and the minerals that carry electric charge, which are going to be, your highest are going to be raw fruit. Highest level of angstroms, 10 to 11,000 angstroms of energy, sometimes even more. And also water, because water fruit, mainly, you can get H3O2 chains from the fruit that you eat. Make sure your fruit is clean. If you need to have a solution to clean your fruit, I use simple negative ORP water, alkalized water, combined with baking soda. And I mix it, I put my fruit inside of it, and I clean it. That's a simple way to wash your fruit and anything else that you need to wash. So that's going to be the battery on one side, the actual battery, the actual saltwater battery. Now, comparison to your brain, which is going to house the copper, the main deposits of the copper in the gray matter. The liver, which is primed for detoxification, your muscle tissue, your bones, your kidneys, your heart. Detoxification, you're focusing on copper. You need to get this charge because copper is a conductor of electricity. Don't forget that. You need to have that inside of you. The atmosphere has a positive charge, the ground has a negative charge. Your feet have the anode that also in your root chakra, which is mainly driven sexual function, and zinc is primary when it comes into sexual function. Desire, testosterone production, which also comes from your brain, and those hours of about 5 to about 11 a.m. Okay, so testosterone is produced by you, where you have produce pain during intercourse, blood flow to your genitals, it raises your sperm count, it treats your erectile dysfunction. Zinc is going to be in your vaginal tissue, and also in your penile tissue, in your penis tissue. So zinc is important for men and women. You know, it raises your libido. It does a lot in terms of sexual function. People are also very low on zinc. So this is how you're going to see electrolytes are going to be inside of your gut. So you need to be eating for all of these 12 systems of your human body. Your 12 systems of your human body are connected to your 12 cranial nerves in your solar plexus, which is inside your gut. Do not forget that your gut has what's called electrogenic bacteria, which is over 100,000 bacteria that provide an electric charge. They found this in a study. Actually, first they found in 2018. They just did even more research, I believe it was at California Irvine, in 2024, in August 2024. And they're looking into basically the charges, the amount of energy that you have, that a person has, that's causing them to get sick or causing them to be healthy. In terms of angstroms of energy, a healthy person has 6,500 angstroms of energy, 6,500. So 6,500 angstroms of energy. 6,500 angstroms is a healthy person, okay? But now a sick person, person with cancer, has 4,875 angstroms of energy. As soon as you get to low power mode, you're gonna get sick. And this is also gonna be a drop off in terms of your pH, in terms of your blood plasma. As soon as you start to drop off from 7.36, you start to get down lower, 7.2, 7.1. People are eating food that is too acidic. And so what's happening is the acidic foods that you're taking in, and also the thought process, the way you see the world is also acidic. It's causing corrosion of your battery. Now you can provide happy chemical, which is I'll actually, instead of putting the pause, I'll put happy, dopamine, happy. You don't want dopamine hits from your cell phone, from social medias, from other people. You need to generate your own happiness. And that means that you should be on purpose with a purpose every morning. You need to know what you're doing, why you're doing it, where you're doing it at, who you're doing it with. You need to know those things. So you need to be writing down what the vision is. Whatever vision God's giving you to do, go do it. Because you're probably living in too much stress and too much cortisol inside your body. So that's the cortisol, which is coming from you. It's coming from you because you're creating it. And this is where you get parasympathetic or sympathetic nervous system. So you have your autonomic nervous system, parasympathetic or sympathetic, which is fight or flight, parasympathetic, which is relaxed. This is where stress is causing people based on physical stress, chemical stress, and emotional stress. You don't know how to handle it, learn how to handle it. Learn how to handle it by giving it up to the Creator. Give it up to the gods. Yeah, you're created in the image of the gods. Not the God, but the gods. Remember that. You're created in the image of the gods. So, once you realize that this salt battery is charged every day for free, the energy is already here. All you got to do is allow yourself to have it. It's free energy. Breathe properly. That's a primary thing for you to understand. Focus on the body calendar that I gave to you guys and each breakdown. And other than that, just live well. Just live well, you know? And until next time, like, share, subscribe to this video. If you need, looking for some more tips on how to get some more energy, follow us. We got plenty of them. All right, until next time, peace.